Okay. So I'm Emma Wainwright of the Trick of Bridge House, and I'll be interviewing Heike Hayward, who is our head girl in 2003. So Heike, tell us a little bit about your career since leaving Bridge House.
Wow. I hope I can remember. Okay, so basically, I matriculated in 2003. I wasn't quite sure what I wanted to do with my life at that point. I enrolled to become a doctor. So I applied at Tygerberg, and I was pretty sure that's what I wanted to do with my life. But I wasn't sure if it's what I wanted to do or if it's what my family wanted me to do. So around about December, that same holiday before I needed to enroll, I decided that actually it's not me, and I had a complete change of heart, and I pulled out. And my mom took me to someone to go do those career testing tests, those interview things. And she basically said to me that there's this amazing course at Stellenbosch. It's brand new. They only take in, I think at the time, 15 students a year. And she's going to try and get me in, but at that point, all the cutoffs were already done. Worst case scenario, I'll take a bit of a gap year, but a working year, and then see if I can get in the next year. But basically, she thinks it's amazing and perfect for me because it's a course that combines all kinds of skills, not just one. So just to give you a bit of background, I was very culturally strong in high school. So I was in a cultural bursary at Bridge House. And I've always been quite strong academically as well. But my main strength is definitely like arts and the cultural side of things. But after matric, I just didn't feel like I wanted to pursue a career in that. So this course was a business course, which allowed you to do 3 years of all the main subjects at varsity. So at the end of your 3 years, from all the different faculties, you could actually then do your honors basically in anything. So at that point, yeah, very cool. So it's for people that not sure what they want to do, but they want all their options open, and they don't want to redo a whole degree at the end of 3 years, because then they can specialize afterwards. So I did that. I loved it. And then in my final year, you get placed at an internship, and I ended up at PwC in a very business-orientated position. So working in advisory, helping companies change their policies and their structures and processes and all of that, which was very far removed from the cultural things I've been doing all my life and all the arts and crafts and drama and painting and music and all of that. But it was also a refreshing break for me, something new. I thrived in that environment. I absolutely loved the corporate space and just the pressure and, climbing that ladder.
Yeah.
And I spent about 3 years in corporate, more on the IT side, so implementing big projects. So I was on the project team for most of the big things like Smart Shopper at Pick n Pay and F&B's online app. Media 24, all their new online processes at the time. I mean, we're talking like 10 years ago, though. So back then, all of that stuff was like cutting edge. And then I got married and I fell pregnant with our first child. And that's when I decided that I wanted to do a serious career move. I think I was a bit worried about being a mom and having a baby while I'm in that corporate environment, which was very stressful and very demanding. And, when you have project deadlines, then that comes first. There's no understanding for family life.
And your work life must have been.
Exactly. And because I come from quite a traditional background, I grew up in the Karoo on a farm. There's a lot of traditional values that I think, that I find very important, like being present and being flexible, at least, to be there for my kids when they grow up. So I just, I made a slow transition. Well, actually, it wasn't that slow, but I started just doing project work in the IT space. And then, but just randomly, a friend of mine asked me to start helping her with weddings, just on the side. And I could do that with a small baby because I would just strap her on me and nobody cares. And I
Yeah.
took her with. And exactly. It's not like it's frowned upon in the more creative spaces.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, it was literally, I mean, India wasn't even 3 months old and I was already booking my own weddings in terms of the flowers. So I was immediately drawn to that side of things. And that's the creative side that I suppressed for a few years in
You're
corporate,
missing it
coming
in
out and
corporate
coming back.
world.
Yeah. Definitely missed it.
Yeah.
Definitely missed it. So yeah, about a year after I resigned from IT and from corporate, I was literally firm on my feet with the flower business called Fleur le Cordeur, and I haven't looked back. So that was the beginning of it. It's about 8 years strong now, and it was my baby. It was the first big thing that happened, and then out of that, you look for all kinds of opportunities and you grab them. So we started going into the retail space.
Mm-hmm.
And then we started opening shops. We've got the online shop. We still obviously do a lot of weddings, yeah. And then lately, my latest baby is a fitness app that we've started.
Wow.
So yeah, loads of things happening.
There's a lot of things happening.
And that's all just part of, I think, having an entrepreneurial mindset.
Yeah. Do you think
When
you
you
had
see
that
the
at a very
opportunity, you
young
go
age?
for it.
You wanted to
Yeah.
find your creativity and your entrepreneurial spirit almost.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I guess I was very lucky that I was brought up with a mindset. Well, I was brought up by two entrepreneurs. So my dad was very ambitious in terms of his risk taking. So I saw him rise and fall quite a few times as a kid. So I don't fear a failure, and I don't fear taking big risks and they don't work out. And I think maybe also, if I have to reflect, I think I got a bit bored in the corporate space, and I needed challenges.
Yeah, stimulate you. What's the most exciting thing about your career, and what's the biggest challenge, do you think?
The most exciting thing, I guess, is actually the challenges that comes with what I do, in terms of, I don't know whether I'm going to be able to pull it off. So when I get a brief from a client and they say, okay, well, we want this and this and this, and I'm like, okay, my gosh, that looks amazing, but I've never done that before. And I don't have the luxury of first trying it because we're working with such big budgets. So the person's budget need to be spent on the end result. I can't go and use some of the budget. Exactly. Play around and hopefully I can do it, and then have a trial and error situation. So many times with my bigger projects, I walk in on site the day before the delivery and all the pressure's on, and we have to make it happen, and you have to think on your feet and just come up with ideas of making it happen. And if things don't work, change your mind, and it's crisis management and it's all kinds of things at the same time. And I absolutely thrive on that. I love it.
And must have come in handy in those situations.
Yeah. Yeah, nothing scares me out here now after those corporate bosses.
Yeah, that's amazing. How has the COVID-19 pandemic affected you personally and your business? Because you said you went online, so that must have been quite useful as well with the whole pandemic.
Yeah. So the online side of our business is definitely the smaller side of my business. It's something that I just manage together with another lady that works with me on that. So that's fine. Obviously, we weren't able to do anything in that first kind of 35 days. But now that things are a little bit more relaxed, we can start shifting products and stuff. So that's amazing. The big impact is on my main business, which is the flower business and the events industry. I mean, we completely closed down, and we're not even on level 1. I think social gatherings will only be allowed like in level 0, somewhere in the far future. So I'm laughing about it, but it's very serious. It's very, very serious. We have had no income. We haven't had any financial support. I'm sitting with a lot of people that I need to pay salaries, which I'm going to continue paying. I'm not one of those people that are going to let them go.
Good.
But at the same time, I'm the eternal optimist, and I'm using the time to come up with new ideas and new business plans, and just and resting a little bit as well. I'm due with my 5th baby in
Wow.
2 weeks time. So I'm just also enjoying the time at home and just spending with the kids. And you know what, money comes and goes, but family and these moments of just slowing down and being present, those are priceless.
Yeah.
So I'm focusing on that for now.
This might be one of the lows before it gets high for you, before it goes.
Yeah.
Might be a good.
100%. That's what I hold on to as well. And I'm really believing that when everything opens up and becomes back to normal again, even if that's only next year, that we're going to be so blessed and we're going to have such a good season ahead of us. So
let's hope.
Fingers crossed.
So going back to like Bridge House as a high school, how did you think it equipped you for your future? If it helped.
Oh my God.
A lot.
Yeah. I'm quite introverted, so I was never the most social kid on the block, and I guess I struggled to make friends in school. So school for me wasn't about my friends and the good times and the social times. If I think back about school, like my fondest memories are time spent with my teachers. Was time spent learning and creating and just having all that support that I had from the school. So in terms of that, I mean, they really upskilled me to take on anything. So I came out a very confident 18-year-old out of school, and I took massive risks, and I trusted myself and the decisions I made, and I wasn't going to let anyone push me into anything. And I'm very thankful for that mindset, both from my parents, but definitely from the school environment and from the teachers as well.
Oh, that's awesome. What are your future plans from here? I heard you mention your fitness app. That's so
future amazing. Immediate future plans is definitely to go more online. So spending a lot of attention and effort into growing the online businesses that I have. And then out of this whole COVID thing was born this incredible idea to start a fitness app, which is basically mainly for pregnant women and post-pregnancy. Yeah, because we found that, it's called Broody Booty Fitness. So it's fun, but it's safe, and it's I found that having been pregnant 5 times in my life, that there's not a lot of things out there for women like me who wants to stay strong and fit during pregnancy or needs to, because I've got so many other things that I need to juggle. I can't afford to get weak and feel sorry for myself. So definitely focusing on that. We really want to grow a very strong brand with that. And then hopefully once everything open up, we're going to double the volume of weddings we do, because we're going to have to catch up. And then see what comes from there.
I think the one thing about this whole pandemic is it had shifted everyone's thinking about where the future is going, and
100%. I also find, which is very interesting, is that a lot of people are saying, the future is going towards the whole online space and all of that, which I agree with. I mean, that's the safe side to be in when things like this happen. But at the same time, I've also seen that this whole lockdown has really encouraged people to be more creative. Because they're sitting at home and they don't have anything to do, and all of a sudden they start doing needlework again, they start painting again. Some people who hasn't taken out paint in the last 10 years have done their first painting, and fixing their own clothes, and cooking for the first time in a decade again.
Cleaning.
So I think there's also going to be a lot of creative businesses born from this, which I'm so excited to see, because I always said that I read this incredible article once, which was about artificial intelligence, and it was saying that, and this is appropriate for your question, that we're moving into this new way of operating where everything is more intelligent, and you know, the push of a button, the same functions can be done that 10 humans would ordinarily do. And then this lady, she wrote this article and she just said, but there's two things that we could never simulate by means of artificial intelligence. And the one thing is to have compassion. So that's one thing that can't be duplicated, and we can't teach a machine to have compassion. So that's such an important thing to install in our children and to teach, because it's going to become an invaluable emotion one day. And then the second thing, which is the appropriate thing to our conversation, is creativity. So you can program computers, you can program robots to do all kinds of things, and even to feel and to have all kinds of emotions and all those things, but you can never program them to think creatively from scratch. So I think if we move into a very crazy future with all kinds of crazy things, if we can hold on to being creative, I think there'll be a spot for us no matter where.
And I also think that after this, it makes us so much more grateful for the things we can do, like weddings and social gatherings and things. So I think there'll always be that need human connection in space, no matter what. So I think
100%.
You probably have double the weddings after this, double the events.
Well, I hope so. I hope so. And I also think that we'll have a new appreciation for the humans in our life. Eh? I think everybody, you know, the lockdown was fine until you started missing your family and you start missing your friends, and that's when it really sunk in and people started getting depressed. It wasn't because they couldn't go out or couldn't go for a walk or whatever. It was because we started missing each other. So social interaction, 100%. We needed to thrive.
I know, definitely. So it's also, please leave us with a message for the Bridge House students of today. From your wide experience, what would you?
From my wide experience, okay. Sure, that's a hard one. So I think if I can, out of my experience from being a student into growing businesses and being a mom, my biggest advice or my biggest message to the youth of today is that nothing comes easy. There is not a magic switch that you switch and all of a sudden you have the world and you have everything you want. And that I really want to encourage the young people of today to change the mindset around that. Yeah. You know, this whole, the idea of the millennials that, you know, just wants to be instantly gratified all the time. Yeah, don't fall trap to that. Be the one that understand that to become something and to have something, you have to work exceptionally hard. It took me a good 5 years of being the cleaner, the driver, the logistics person, the person that loads the crates in and out of my vans before I could afford to employ people under me. So it takes hard work, persistence, perseverance, all those old school stuff. Yeah. And you guys at Bridge House, you've got such an amazing opportunity. You already have a step in the right direction. There's no reason you can't make an incredible success of your life. Doesn't matter what it is, whether you want to become the most incredible mother, whether you want to become the most incredible wife to your husband, or whether you want to pursue a career like myself at the same time. You don't have to stand back for just being average. Yeah. Effort in. Put the effort in, put the hard work in. Be the one that wakes up at 4 a.m. in the morning. Be the one to leave last. All those little things that our grandparents knew and taught us about. Yeah. Be the generation that takes back those values. And you guys are all going to be amazing and you're going to thrive in the country.
I do think so as well. It was just inspirational to hear, because you also, like, as a sort of woman, I look at it, and to balance that work life and mother life, I think you've got like a really nice balance, you know, to still be able to spend time with your children, but like run a successful business and do what you love.
Yeah. Emma, that's not easy. That's not easy. And you guys, you will see one day when you do have that there's a lot of judgment. So you're neither in the eyes of the community, you're never a good enough mother because you're working, and in the eyes of the corporate space, you're never a good enough career woman because you're always on your phone, like talking to the kids, and like you've got a baby over your shoulder and whatever. But if you balance it right and you don't put too much expectation on yourself and you just pour the passion both into your children and your business and your partner and everybody around you, then you can do it. Definitely. I wouldn't do it any other way. I couldn't imagine having the one without the other.
Yeah.
So it's something to aspire to, definitely.
No, that's awesome. Thank you so much for talking.
Cool, man.
Thank you, yeah. So
and Emma,